Okay, guys, we are live. So for those listening at home, welcome to the Dungeon Musings YouTube channel. My name is Kevin Madison, and I will be your friendly dungeon master this evening. Tonight, we are carrying on with our ongoing game playing Advanced Dungeons & Dragons 2nd Edition, playing through the 2013 adventure. God, it's almost 10 years old now. Holy smokes. Legacy of the Crystal Shard. And we are also incorporating substantial amounts from Wizards of the Coast's recent, or I guess I keep saying recent, it's probably like 3 years old now, or 2 years old, Icewind Dale Rime of the Frostmaiden. So if you do intend on playing, I'm assuming many people are not running out to go and buy a 9-year-old obscure module that was released between editions, but you may be wanting to play Icewind Dale Rime of the Frostmaiden. If you are intending on playing that, this session will likely contain spoilers for that, so if you do want to go into that adventure without anything spoiled for you, definitely come back at another time, and we will be here waiting for you in the Icewind Dale. Speaking of we, let's talk about who are the stars of the Legacy of the Crystal Shard campaign. I'll go the order I've got you guys on the screen here. Why don't you tell us who you are, who you're playing, and what level are you currently? First up, we've got Darren.
Yep, Darren here. I'm playing Trin Stainpaw, who's a Gnoll Thief. And the last session, he reached the dizzy heights of level 5.
Wowzers. Look at that. Flying up in the levels. And next up is John.
Everyone, I am John. I'm playing Falcorol Hawkfriend. He is a half-Sylvan Elf Ranger Cleric. Specifically, he is a Falconer and a Specialty Priest of Solinar. He is paralyzed.
Yeah. He got up and close and personal with a bunch of Nothics.
Yes.
And last, but certainly not least, is Andrew.
Hello, everyone. I am Andrew, and I'm playing Kola Hammerstone, a Dwarven Priest of Clangeddon Silverbeard. I think he's got some healing in his future.
Nice. So, guys, let's transition over to ye old battle mat here, and then you can tell us what happened last time. I will say we have been continuing on in the Caves of Hunger. But what happened to you guys last time? 2 times ago, I got to use a mimic for the first time, so that was pretty great.
All right, so we continued to. Oh, last time was interesting. This is a very exciting moment for all of us, but also Kevin, because he had been waiting for us to discover this little portion of the Caves of Hunger. We stumbled upon a grove of trees, somehow miraculously growing underground here, and in that grove we met oh my God, was it a dryad or
dryad?
Dryad, right?
Yeah.
Who has been, the caretaker of this grove of trees.
Hathawin. Her name is Hathawin.
Hathawin. Yes. Hathawin. I'm terrible at remembering all the names of the NPCs
I
here.
scrolled up.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. That one I can remember because I'll just think of Anne Hathaway and then I'll get at least close. But yeah, so she was lovely. Falcorol was super stoked and ran right in and was in awe and memorized.
The Dryads don't have a tendency to be evil, so it's like, well.
Oh yeah.
Father Limerick, Dryad, a Dryad.
Yeah. For the dwarf and the gnoll in the party, who we were focused more on the bad shit we have just been experiencing the last while and don't trust much of anything right now. So we were, one would say, somewhat hesitant, but after quite a bit of coaxing and encouragement from Falcorol and Grim, Trin and Kola, we made our way in, and she was lovely. She had these peaches that rejuvenated us and brought us back pears to restore our abilities and such, which which did not last. Anyone else want to take it over? Because I think we found some tunnels after that. She don't tell us much about the gnolls, vampires, and the evil that lurks here, but she did tell us there are a couple pathways we should not go down.
Yeah, there was a tunnel where the ice worm thing was. We were told about some Duergar, I believe, that kept moving from the southwest towards the southeast. The tunnel we came down eventually, and there were 2 side branching passages that she wanted us to avoid. Wish I'd gotten down one of those now, but we came down this right passage, seeking the entrance to the city below, and ran across some Nothics. And since I was ahead scouting out, I saw them first. They saw me, and the decks started dropping. So I rushed in like a fool, and because I didn't think I'd be able to make it up the slope with my decks dropping, and just pounded on them until they died.
I think until you dropped, actually. Because you did say that you're at a 0, yeah. So I'm thinking that you didn't pound them till they died. You dropped.
I pounded one till it died.
He is currently unconscious and paralyzed and such. So
nope.
Well, you're just
He's
paralyzed.
conscious, just paralyzed, unfortunately.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm
Well,
dex 0 and down 2 strength. Yeah.
His brain's clearly not working quite right. That's that's fine.
I need to move.
So we can pick up right in the aftermath of that. So you guys can picture you guys had a period of an hour or so when you were all relaxing in the grove. You then took the passageway down for about maybe 5 minutes, and then you came. I can't remember why Falcor was so okay. You were trying to not spoil your dark vision. Falcor was so far ahead, and then suddenly started getting hit by everything. You may recall that you guys each had also been gifted with some kind of magic, like limited magical ability by the purple pears. And the one that I think it was the one that Grim got was a lightning bolt.
Yep.
And he unleashed that down the way, which helped a bit. But these things, the withering gaze of these Nothics reduced Falcoral's fighting capability to nil. You also know that the way that this one was causing spasms and weaknesses and whatnot in your limbs is a different experience than just the sapping of your vitality that you got from the one you faced in the inverted tower. And things I can tell you, Trin, I think we mentioned this before, but the first time that they encountered any suggestion of this city was in a mountain pass in this sort of like frozen crevasse. There was a tower turned upside down that they accessed, and they made their way through upside down. And at the top / bottom of that tower, they encountered the one or two of these things. I don't even know one.
It was 2.
It was 2? Okay.
It was a pair, like a guardian pair.
Yeah. So then, guys, what do we do next here? Trin, you're looking down the corridor, and it continues down for as far as you can see. And I say corridor, I mean it's a gap in the iceberg here, or the glacier. You cannot see anything further down there, but you think you can smell something. There's a smell coming up from deeper down in that direction, but the breeze is coming from behind you. The hotter air is behind you, going down in that direction. Cola, you've got a collapsed elf at your feet.
Yeah, let's do something about that.
Falcorel is able to sputter out some words, but it's very hard because you can see all his muscles are almost tensed up.
Yeah.
Let's hope I can do something about that.
Don't think you can cure ability damage. You can heal me. I'm obviously bleeding, but
yeah, that's true. But I can't. So I won't be able to. I can. Can I do like a? Wait, I forget. Am I familiar with? We've engaged Nothics before, so am I? But I don't know about these ones. Am I familiar with the effects and whether or not I know I can do something about it?
You did face them in the inverted tower. And in that case, I believe it was temporary. It wasn't like the what do you call it? The cold light walkers.
Okay, so in that case, I think I'm pretty confident to I can't do much about the what's it called about that the paralyzation, but I will cast Cure Moderate.
Appreciate it.
It's my last healing spell, everyone.
I believe I have a few left.
Why are you gonna cast them, Falcor?
Well, I'm not at this point.
Shoot, 2d4
+3.
There we go.
I've got a Cure Serious and a Cure
cool.
Moderate left if I
There
ever
you
get
go.
up. So
It actually did well.
Okay. So Falcor has
Appreciate
9
it.
hit points back.
nice. Oh,
I've got to track these
Trin-
because I've got too many things blocked
What you
off.
can see, because you're sort of up near where the bodies are, I think you can't help but, be looking down at these things.
Yeah.
You can tell on one of them, like their bodies are, as you can see from the illustration here, like they're clearly non-human, right? Like it doesn't fit with even the physiognomy or the way that you would expect a human being to be sort of built. But you can see that at least 2 of them, there are tattered remnants of clothing on them. And the way that they're hanging off of them, like one has scraps on it, the other one, it's just like a piece of a middle bit that doesn't seem to have fallen off. It's they don't seem to be, it's as if they grew into them.
And any way of telling what sort of clothing it was, whether it was sort of dwarf, elf, human? Is there any sort of telltale signs?
Why don't you give us a wisdom check, please? Let's roll d20, your wisdom score or less.
I've got 14 wisdom.
Nice. So you've seen the markings on, say, Tom or I think Lex's swords that are of Netherese origin. They've mentioned, when you were coming across those runes before, or ruins before, they talked about like what Netherese stuff looks like. Grimm will not shut up about Netherese stuff. It seems a bit of an obsession with him. The scraps on one of them appear to be like the stretched remnants of a robe or cloak of some kind. And it definitely has the markings of, or the characteristics of, the Netherese style.
Okay. And while I'm investigating these, I'll also be sniffing at the air, as you said, that he can smell something. Is there anything he's smelled down here before, or is this a new smell?
Definitely a new smell, yeah.
But no way of identifying it at this stage.
Not sure, no. This is not yeah.
Is it offensive though? I mean, is it a nice smell?
No, and I suppose with if the heat is behind and it's sort of pushing, down, it's actually probably the whatever odor is coming from ahead is going to be masked pretty substantially by the smell of the orchard. So it's that pleasant, smell of the pears.
But it's not a rotting or a, like we've encountered up to now with the corpses and undead and okay. Okay, well, I shall head back to the group.
Trin walks over, the torch burning. You can see Falcarol is on the ground and his eyes are moving back and forth, but still is unable to move himself. What do you guys want to do?
Ola, why does he not rise?
He's affected by these creatures' magic, their abilities, their stare. He won't be moving anytime soon. I think he'll be better. We've dealt with these creatures before, and these effects did not last. But I cannot tell how long he'll be out.
Shall we journey back to the kind lady and rest until he can rise?
Probably not a bad idea. I don't have any spells left myself. Like I cannot or rephrase. My own powers are somewhat drained right now, and I could use the rest.
I'm gonna sort of
You could have
reach
his-
down.
you could
and
have
I'm
his
gonna,
legs.
I'll just pick him up. I mean,
Oh,
Trin's he's a
I keep
powerful
forgetting
guy.
how big Trin
Yeah.
is.
Well, he's got 17 strength as well. So I think for a short distance, I think he'd be able to.
And we're not that
potentially
far,
carry-
right? Like
That's
we
what I meant,
literally
yeah.
just came around the corner from her place.
And the Falcrell's not that heavy of an elf, but he is wearing Dwarven banded mail, so
Yeah.
Hey, Falcro. How's asshole doing?
well, I left him outside the caves with the griffins.
Okay. I just saw your the character image, and I had completely forgotten that you have a falcon.
Yeah, he refuses to be trained very well, but he is loyal fiercely. He's not going anywhere.
Yeah, I think the bird had some other name at first, but then John kept failing every one of his animal
name is
training
Havoc.
rolls at each level, so he couldn't teach him new tricks.
Yeah, the only one I could teach him was the loyalty one.
Yeah, he's a rescue falcon.
And I suspect that the only reason asshole actually is that fiercely loyal is because he really gets a rise out of pissing you off. So he's not going anywhere. It's not so much that he's loyal to you, is that you're stuck with him.
Yeah, I feed him and he pisses me off. Yes.
Oh God, I'm reading the David Eddings trilogy about Sparhawk. It's like a knight and whatnot. Yeah, like I hadn't read them before, and he's got a horse in it that it's just a complete prick. Like it bites everybody, and it just like it tries to corner stable hands in the corner. So it really, I've got a frame of reference now for asshole. I'm just like,
Oh man!
Yeah.
How is? I don't want to go too far off track, but how is that? I love that. I
It's
love
super
the
dated.
Bulgarian and Malorian, but
it's
you know,
like I mean, it's not great writing, but it's very enjoyable. It's
Sure.
the characterization and the world building is a lot of fun.
so that's
and-
pretty par for the course ratings.
yeah. Like it's just
It's not going to blow your mind, but
I
you'll
read
have a fun time.
the first book. I read like halfway through when I was a kid, and I latched on the name Sparhawk. So like every paladin I play in any video game is always named Sparhawk, and it dawned on me, I'm like, maybe I should finish reading these books before I continue on with this practice. But I'm really enjoying them so far. They've been. It has a pacing that is very unfamiliar with modern stuff or like Tolkien-esque books. Because it's just like shit happens really fucking quickly. We get to the meat of the matter, which means there's just a lot of stuff happening, which is fun because you're not spending a lot of time. And then that's also interspersed with really bizarre naturalistic conversations where like things aren't happening, but it's the kind of like weird back and forth that people have as like polite, necessary polite bits of conversation. So the dialogue is kind of weird at points, but still enjoyable. I'm enjoying it. I mean, they are what they are. They're 90s, fantasy novels, but I'm enjoying it. And the horse in particular is great.
Yeah, someone in chat agrees. He said that's the best horse.
Oh, it is. Yeah, the horse is such a prick. The only reason that it doesn't bite Sparhawk is because he beat the shit out of the horse at some point. It bit him and like he established boundaries.
I would have done that to the hawk, but I'd break its neck.
Yeah. So anyway, you guys are dragging Falcro back to the Grove. Okay, so you guys can go ahead and move yourselves back up there. Let me make a quick roll for random encounters.
Please no.
Let's see here. Okay. So you guys are dragging. Cole is slowly making his way up.
Sorry, I was looking up Sparhawk and
Oh, yeah.
putting it to my to-read list.
I did that as well.
Yeah, you can get it pretty cheap for like a compilation of the first 3 novels.
Oh yeah, I'll just watch for the secondhand shops around here.
Yeah.
My reading list is far too low as it is, too high as it is anyway right now.
Okay. All right. So as you guys are making your way back up, the Trin, you in particular, you can smell the scent of the orchard. It's just it's quite powerful as you're making your way up. And as you guys make your way into, let me just move you guys all here into here. You can hear a rustling of the trees. And you guys can hear a voice call out, "Hide! Quickly!"
We need to stash him.
What do you guys do?
Okay.
Maybe in one of the corners behind the ruins here.
Yeah, these walls, how high are these walls?
They alternate
ruins?
between being about 7 feet high and then being like, rubble down to about 1 feet high.
And the trees, are they sort of like single trees with small?
No, each of them is an individual tree, and it's like a pear tree, so like they're not very high, but they spread out really big and wide. I actually don't know if that's what pear trees are like. I'm just imposing what my understanding of apple trees are on them. So,
Yeah, they haven't got much foliage, pear trees, from my.
No, okay, so then it's just It's then, and I again, if I'm picturing it like any other, like an apple tree, where it's low, but it spreads out to be a big, filled thing. Which also means the trunk. So it's not like a lot of, if you're wondering about whether there's foliage to sort of hide people in. Yeah, and unfortunately not.
No.
So,
well, I'm going to sort of push back Cola, and I suggest we head back down the tunnel a little way.
If you guys start moving in that direction, you hear that voice again. No, hide.
Yeah.
If it's the Duergar, they go down this way like all the time.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Well, let's hide behind this wall.
the disembodied voice of Falcoro reminds us in our memories.
I can still go, no!
He's effectively got like Tin Man level of communication.
Yeah, lockjaw kind of.
Okay, let's stash Falcoro like here, in this tree, and then we'll kind of hide in these trees too.
Okay. All right.
Like slumping against the wall, just like, don't see me, don't see me, don't see me.
Yeah, I'm gonna go right against the wall here.
Yeah, and I'm going to put out my light, obviously.
Yeah,
as soon as
relatively easy.
I hear that.
Yeah, you just plunge it in against one of the what do you call it? Like piles of snow or ice at the ground, and goes out. All right, so let's do this then.
Like the worst time to hide. Paralyzed, can't move.
Surely Kevin would not,
I see nothing.
The light out, and you guys hidden. Trin.
Mm-hmm.
You're hiding. The light, completely extinguished. And one of the things, I'm not sure if you guys have ever been in a cave before or been in a place where it is absolute darkness, but it's unlike any other kind of black that you can really fathom, to the point where like you can put your hand in front of your face and start moving it, and you have that weird after image thing. Yeah. And that's sort of where I think you guys are right now. Like this, they're with the plunging into blackness. You can also start hearing things more keenly, and there is ever so slightly the sound of the ice shifting, and it's not loud, but it's just quiet enough, in the same way that like if you're very, very quiet in a house, you can hear it shift sometimes. There is that sort of bizarre echoing, cook, 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 that carries through the whole thing. Falcarel and Cola and Trin, why don't you guys each give us a wisdom check, please? Let's see who rolls highest. You want to roll d20, up to your wisdom, but not over.
Those are my weapons.
Great roll,
That's
Falcarel.
not my. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, high wisdom.
And Trin got a 9. Okay.
Yeah.
So Falcarel, you're lying there, and again, like your sort of your senses are hyper focused at this point. You can hear ever so slightly the creaking of the trees, but there's no breeze really down. Oh, there is a little bit of a breeze actually coming from that hole where it's warmer, leading up to where the ice worm is said to be. So you can hear a little bit of creaking. But what you hear as you strain your ears is the sound heavy footfalls, boots on ice, the shifting of metal armor, the slapping of scabbards up against traveling against a traveler's leg. You would guess at least 5. And with a roll that good, you think you can hear a word or two spoken. Do you speak Dwarven?
Yes.
Okay, so it's similar to that, but it sounds weird. Like, you know when like you hear, if you hear someone speaking a language other than one you understand, and then a word accented in your word, and like in English or something like that, slips in, you're like, wait, I think I picked that up. Did you just say computer? Or, you know, that kind of stuff. That's what you hear. It's like they're words that you vaguely recognize, but you can't quite piece together what it is they're saying. And there's only a couple of terse words that are exchanged. Kola, you rolled well enough as well. I think you can hear those words in Dwarvish. Would you give us an intelligence check, please?
15 for that one.
Nice. So, in the Forgotten Realms, the Dvergar actually have a fairly tragic history, because they're not just like, well, we don't want to be with you guys, we're going to be evil dwarves. They are dwarves. They are a clan of dwarves that were taken by illithids and twisted and corrupted and whatnot. And when the Dvergar, thanks to their god Ladigar, was able to free them from that enslavement, they found themselves to be a very different people than they were before, and unwelcome and unable to reacclimatize to dwarven society. As a result of that as well, their language is twisted. It incorporates the illithids themselves are telepathic creatures, but other servient species that they've taken over, or when they need to communicate out loud, they use a different language, and as a result, the Dvergar language is actually different from Dwarven, but you can definitely recognize it. You're educated enough to hear it. There's a couple of terse words exchanged in the Dvergar tongue. You're not sure what they are. Trin, what you can smell is the faint hint of, there's musk, and there's like what you would expect from from any kind of traveler. But there is also there's the smell of brimstone, ever so slightly. In the span, it feels like a very long time, but likely is not long at all. The sound and the smells pass. And you guys are left lying in the orchard. Now, with a roll that good as well, there are two other... there's 3 things I'll tell you about Dvergar that maybe I'm repeating myself from last time, but better to say it more times than not. One of the things that happens is there is a almost like a magical energy that permeates the Underdark in the Forgotten Realms. I think it's called Loras. I might be having that wrong, but there's some magical emanation, and as a result, it warps things that spend too much time, especially things from the surface. That's one of the reasons why Drow have they have magical gifts that surface elves don't have. Similarly, the dwarves were warped when they became Dvergar, and they have 2 gifts. One of them is any Dvergar can increase their size. They can magically augment themselves to be more physically impressive and physically imposing. And it is dramatically out of step of what you would expect from their power. Like even a non-combatant Vergar can still change themselves to be 50% to double their height, or 150% to double their height. They also have the ability to vanish from sight. They can be unseen if they choose to be. The third thing is as a result of exposure to the illithids and the other awful things in the Underdark, they are prone to having quite powerful psychic powers. Very different from any kinds of clerical magic or arcane sorcery that a wizard could learn. Things that only illithids and Kyotoa, other awful things of the deep, dark places. So, Kolda, you know all of that about the Vergar.
Right. I know that a lot of that I passed on to the group the last time.
Yeah.
Especially the stuff about, and then also like I passed on and told the group in particular, because I think Grim was really eager to go take them on. And I think the other, it serves to remind as well that just the inherent like brutality and vicious singular-mindedness of the Duergar, akin to what we like. It would be as if we amplified the black ice insanity that drove my family back in the Dwarven Valley, but amplified it quite a bit more. So yeah. Nasty bit of work, those guys.
Well, and I mean, I think that their reputation rivals the cruelty and malice of the Drow as well. It's just that the Dvergar spend a lot less time talking about how evil they are and more time just fucking you up.
Yeah, no doubt. Now that I know this meta history as well, no doubt a long side effect of their corruption from the Illithid. I wouldn't be surprised if there was some sort of like genetic madness built into them now after that kind of thing. That's not Cola. That's all Andrew just like playing with the meta.
Yeah. So with them gone, or with them seeming to have not noticed you, what do you guys do next?
Did we hear which sort of direction they were heading?
You would guess they were heading down the passageway that you guys were in.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're gonna find the bodies.
It's a good thing yes, they will.
And do these passageway? They're mainly sort of ice, aren't they? Do they have sort of? Is there like frost or snow of any sort of description that would give away our?
One of the
things.
upsides is to traveling within the glacier is that like there's not an opportunity for like fresh fallen snow to come. So tracking in here, as Falcro can attest to, has been actually kind of challenging. It's because it's effectively almost like you're trying to move across like hardened rock, and tracking across scree or rock or whatnot, like it's tricky to do because you have to you can't just follow footprints or whatnot. So that said, plus, where you are right now, there are tons of prints because it's thick, rich, magically augmented earth.
There would be, except passive ability of the Rock of Mud that I have covers up all tracks of my party.
It changes the tracks.
It changes the tracks. Yeah. So I can easily make the tracks we have imitate the Nothics that we encountered. Would I have to do it something a little bit more? You can do that
now going forward. I am fine with you. Like you've said that one of the reasons you wear that cursed thing is because of that ability. So what do you think you have been changing them to?
Yeah,
it would have been whatever.
The Nothics would have been that's a here and now thing. I think given that we've encountered gnolls so much, it makes sense for me to have been masking the trails as just more gnolls, which I don't even need to cover up trends then. And just thinking about it here, these Duergar would probably be aware that these gnolls are in these caves somewhere, and my hope would be that they're just going to chalk it up to, oh, the gnolls are getting a little eager or a little bit daring. We may have to monitor that or something like that, you know?
Yeah.
But we'll see how that goes.
So, Trin, are you firing up your... Cola, you would know that Trin, Falcor still can't move. Trin can't see with the light off.
Yeah, Falcor's focused intensely on moving a finger. Just staring down like, move.
If he's staring at his foot and saying wiggle, that's the second Kill Bill reference we've had in 2 days.
And a little bit of light. Do we dare risk a little light?
I mean, are they well out of hearing? I mean, can we hear them stomping?
Not at all.
And they're pretty loud, aren't they, when they're moving?
Surprisingly not, actually.
Right.
Yeah, like you guys rolled quite well on all your wisdom checks, so you heard or smelled them as they were going. Like you didn't hear them, Trin. It was more that you actually smelled them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I would probably give it longer then before.
Okay.
A little bit longer, and also, fire is something that we really can't do in this room or this area, unless it's like way over here in the corner and very small. And I don't have a light spell available right now, so
No one's cast continual light on anything, right?
Not in this game. Well, we did, but I think we gave one of them to Store, and he isn't with us.
Okay. So.
I have the light spell, but I can't move at the moment, so that's.
Okay.
Well, and light spell that would be very bright in here.
Yeah. I think Cola and I have infravision, so we can just make out each other, I think, in the darkness.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I'm guessing inside this glacier, all heat sources are like dampened. So
for now, Trin, just like,
I think Trin would realise the situation, and he knows that the others can see, so he will wait for someone to come and basically give him the all clear.
Sure.
Yeah, I'll make my way over to him and
you can
him.
smell it. Once they get within 10 feet of you, you can smell that someone's coming, even if you can't hear.
Yeah.
Cola's not the most stealthy of cats, so
Not really.
Yeah.
So,
I think I've come accustomed to his smell now. So
absolutely, yeah. So you would know that it's him coming in, and I mean the Cola has a distinctively different musk to him than what those Dvergar did. Those Dvergar most definitely had that.
I believe you meant aroma.
Yeah,
Musk.
Yeah.
at this point, it's probably musk. We've been down here a while.
yeah. You guys have been traveling for a long time, so you guys are a funky bunch. Yeah. So you make your way over, Cola. Falcro, you
I'll
can
wake him up.
you can hear the sound of bending wood, like when a tree creaks in the breeze, and you can hear once again in that elven tongue, that woman's voice. What has happened?
Am I able to speak enough to say the Elven language?
Yeah.
I abused your gift and found some Nothics, and they drained my
So
my
that word
strength.
wouldn't mean anything.
Oh.
And your characters, I don't think, know. Grim may have shared the word of Nothic, but it's a weird word, so sharing that would mean nothing to her.
So
What would your character say?
He would say, the little undead beasties with the big eye, they took my strength.
She sighs. I will help if I can, but a day must pass.
So
You've gained the benefit of my orchard once today. I cannot offer it again until time passes. Will you recover?
we've faced them once before, different, but it did not last too long, but I lost much. It may take a while.
Okay. Well, if you rest here, you must take care. They may return, and you cannot see them when they move.
I turned to Kola, who's nearby. Is like, I think they're invisible when they move.
Oh yes, yes. This is. Well then, we'll have to. I don't know how we keep a watch other than try to keep our ears, sharp.
Well, I suggest.
I've got nothing to do but listen. So.
Okay. So tell me how long you guys are waiting here.
Is it just your head that's thought out now? you can't do
mouth area.
Sorry, Trin. You were about to make.
All I was going to say is Trin is more than happy to stand by the corridor. Just literally just round the corner of the corridor and just like sniff out if he can smell them coming, basically, while you're resting. So position himself so he's not in sight of the corridor, but close enough that potentially will give us, a little bit of time to try and hide, or maybe even sort of tie a rope between us so I can pull on a rope and, go into hiding if I smell them coming.
Makes sense.
To use that sense rather than, if I can't see them.
Well, you're a thief, right?
Mm-hmm.
You could hide in shadows. As you watch. There's lots of shadows.
Yeah.
I don't know how good their sight is.
Yeah, Kola can share with you that they're, having spent centuries under the deepest parts of the ground, Dvergar have an even more gifted dark vision than what dwarves can.
Gotcha.
And do they see heat rather than?
Yes, I believe it's infravision instead of.
So, darkness and shadows probably would not help. But
well, we could make our way to the tunnel with the worm opened up. She did mention that it hadn't been around for a while, and I doubt they would go in that area.
Yeah, if we got any idea what sort of time it will take for you to recover.
No, not at this
What
point.
you find is, as you guys, so you're going to have about, from the time you got back to the Grove until this happens, is about 40 minutes. So after roughly an hour has passed since your last exposure, Falcro, you regain 1 point of dexterity.
Okay.
And the Dvergar have not returned in that period. So Falcro is able to move, but he is very, very clumsy right now. What do you guys wish to do?
Yeah, I need like a full. I need a full thing of rest. Like I'm tapped out. So.
Am I able to coordinate myself enough to cast a spell?
Oh yeah. Oh,
Okay.
I think there might be a spell failure chance though. If there is a somatic component to the spell, there's a spell failure chance.
Oh yeah, most of my spells have that. So yeah.
Do they? Okay, shit. Yeah. So let's see here. I'm gonna use. Where is it?
Oh
here?
no, if I don't feel steady enough to cast a spell, I'm not going to cast a spell.
Okay.
So.
Okay. So what do you guys do?
So where do you think the safest place to rest is?
Honestly, this place here is because we go back up. We're back into the vampire, the knoll like areas. We can't go up the tunnel with the big creature. We certainly can't go down where we just came from, and we can't go the direction that the Dwargar came from either. So, I don't know. At least here, it's well, as I said, I would not 100% would not recommend. But this is at least defensible. This area, it's comfortable.
I think it's better for hiding, certainly, because you can hide behind the walls, and even the infravision, I would hope, wouldn't go through the walls.
Dryad is very. You can pick us up. Falcro is very nervous about you guys hiding here.
Because if they find us here, they might wonder why we're here, and then it might lead to her.
Destroy the
bring
place.
axes.
No,
Yeah,
that's
and-
true.
Yes.
She wants to help, and she wants to offer you more succor, but the Falcarel can translate as well. Like the reading the emotional state of a dryad is tricky unless you've kind of been around them, and Falcarel fortunately has. You guys are probably the first like helpful or kind beings that she's seen since the city fell. So
speaking of which, once they had gone, and once we've kind of realized, like once we feel like it's reasonably safe, I'm going to make a pointed. I'm going to make a point of visibly removing my axes and placing them like over here, near the wall, just as a sign of respect to her.
She is appreciative of that. She thinks she's beginning to appreciate that they're not all dwarves may be something you need to fear. She is deathly afraid of those things, though. She does not know what they said because she doesn't understand them, but there was talk. One of them talked of cutting down the trees, or at least for the way they talked about it. So she does not want to give.
If those creatures, if those dark cousins of mine come back, I assure you, so long as I still stand, they will not be cutting down any of your trees. If I can do anything about it. We could relocate further up. I think of our options, like we know the caves to the north. We've more or less, cleared some of the more immediate spaces that are closest to here. There might be some of those like Nefit kind of creatures that were still hanging around, but I believe last time we discussed that we're reasonably confident that we've at least taken a good chunk out of the vampire Knoll brood or pack. I mean,
there is one problem with going north, though. We have to get past Father Limerick, or we have to go through the worm tunnel.
Wow.
Was Father Limerick Sorry, go ahead.
Don't need to go that far, do we?
No, I'm just saying, like, literally
one.
Like, we could just go to the next kind of cavern up.
Closer to the mimic.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's that too. But if she's nervous about us being here and it would be easier for her to hide if we aren't here drawing more attention, then the least we can do is move into another cavern over to give us the ability to rest. And in the least dangerous way possible for all of us. There's still risk, but there's risks in all of these options.
Yeah, at this point, I would like to take a risk.
So do the dwarfs ever travel to the north? I'll ask.
So you asked through Falcarel. No.
So maybe that is
once when they first arrived, but not for long. Not as long as they go down the tunnel to the south.
Okay. Then of those, like, I would say we know the threats to the north. And we know we can more or less handle them. But yeah, I would. These all involve risk, but I would rather take. If we are to take risks, I would rather us assume those risks for ourselves. It is not right of us to impose those risks on our host. And so we will remove ourselves. Tell her that we'll remove ourselves and we'll find another place to rest. Tell her though as well that we shall not be far, and that if the need arises, she can call upon us, and we will return to help her in any way we can, if something were to happen.
Okay. She does seem grateful for that offer.
Well, let's travel north then.
Sure. Yeah, I will pick up my axes on the way out.
Yeah,
that would be embarrassing. Oh no!
Falcarel's like leaning on his quarterstaff. He stowed his halberd and.
Well, Trin can probably like carry you.
Oh no, I mean I'm still strong. I mean, just no dexterity.
Yeah,
so.
he's just very clumsy. He's tripping and stumbling quite a bit. It's not because he's weak.
When we reach the stairs here, I'll turn around and offer Falcarol, a hand to help him down like a dainty lady of yore.
He glares at you in a very distinctly dwarven way that he's learned from you, and you bat your hand aside. But fall down, pick me up.
So up here, guys, this room in here is the one with the mirrored walls.
Oh no!
And this one is the one where Grim saw something in the ice.
Right. Yep. Great. Which, pick your poison, lads. We haven't been.
Pick our poison. Okay, can I say right here? Let's just sit right here. This room.
I was going to say, can we not rest in the corridor?
We haven't been Grim saw something, but we haven't actually been up here.
He saw a figure in the ice, trapped in there, old with a bunch of jewelry and stuff on him. Screams don't free him.
Yeah, right in that cyst of ice that's pushing out. Oh, wrong thing. Right there.
I'll go to the threshold of the room and take a better look.
So you get in and take a little closer look, and it's as Grim had described. There is within the wall a black-robed figure with a golden face mask on. That seems, arms crossed, as if it was set to rest within this ice. It's a little distorted. The ice is a little, a little cloudy at points, but there are places where you can get a clear angle on this thing, as if it was flash frozen in there.
Plus, it's my dark vision can only give me so much detail in here. We'd have to put some light.
Yeah. And that's in there, and it's.
Can I tell how you might have? Maybe I missed it. Can you tell how big the creature is? Is it
human size?
It's human.
Human size, yeah. You can't tell whether it might be human or half elf or elven.
Sure,
because the mask covers it, but that's half orc, I guess, for that matter. But it is, it's completely covered head to toe, but with either the robe or that golden mask. The mask has the features of some of the other designs you've seen of Nethere's origin too. Ancient and strange. Distinctly human as well.
Okay. I'll take another step in. Do I see anything on the flanks?
Nothing. It's otherwise a bare.
Am I getting any sort of magical or can my clerical I'd have to detect evil if I wanted to actually detect something like that, but am I getting any sort of magical energy out of this thing at all?
Well, I'm not sure how you do that.
I would have
Clerics
to
don't get cantrips in AD&D.
Nope, that's true.
Yeah.
So I would have to actually use some magic to figure that out, which I don't have. So I'll turn back to Trin. It's
well, what's your impression? I mean, you have your lay impression of this thing. There's no sound in here apart from the,
yeah, my lay impression is that the room itself looks does it look structurally sound in here?
Yeah. This also, those those visions you've seen sort of moving behind the ice or the things that other people have described. This is distinctly not like that. You can clearly make out details. You can see slight fraying on the robe.
I don't think this isn't like those possessing the creatures possessing us and attacking us and such before. This is not a psychological trick.
No.
I turn to Trin and I'm pretty sure we're okay here as long as we don't disturb this thing. And we leave well enough alone. I think it's just literally some poor soul has been trapped in the ice. It's either that or the mirror room where that was driving us mad.
Sounds the best of the rooms we've got. So let's set up in there.
I would recommend if we make a fire that we keep it as far away from the icy tomb here as possible. We don't want to be accidentally melting the ice.
I suggest a corner away from any exits as well to
Yeah, we'll put the fire like over here.
Reduce the amount of
Something like
light
that.
or the possibility of light being seen.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can put the either the fire. Well, actually, that's a good line of sight. So maybe the fire over here.
It's the
Like
thing
in
in the
this
middle, is
corner.
it?
Okay.
Yeah, it's this thing here that has the creature trapped.
Yeah.
And you can all see that as well
corner.
when Trin brings the torch in as well. That torchlight just reflects off of the golden mask as if it had been polished shortly before you guys entered the room.
Are you sure you want to rest in here?
Well, what's your sense, Falcaro?
I don't know. I usually trust Grim about these things,
Well,
which is a poor decision, I admit. But
at the best of times. But it's this or the mirror room, and that one was. I was seeing.
disorienting. Yes.
I'll just shake my head when you mention the mirror room.
Yeah, Trin did not like this. Or we go even further beyond the mirror.
It's like a
room.
dog seeing a mirror for the first time. Like, I don't know, there's just Noel in there, man. Keeps looking at me.
I mean, the other option is we keep going further back yet, and then we're closer to that mimic room and other potential creatures. Like, this room is structurally sound. It's not occupied. We can reasonably keep our light hidden.
This being must have been here for many, many years. Why would it come out now?
Yeah, there's no unnatural markings on the outside of the ice. The ice seems to be a natural formation, part of the glacier's wall as any other wall you've passed.
I mean, it's possible that this room contains some sort of magic that will trap whatever occupants in ice. You know, rest easy. But I don't. You know, none of these options are good, Falcaro.
No, I vote here.
Okay. Well, we should probably keep a watch just in case I.
Did you? I don't know how far you are. You had mentioned your.
I finished the Critical Role, or the animated series. Yeah.
It's the animated series you were watching. That's what you were referring to.
Yeah,
Okay,
I mean,
no,
I've been watching the new season of Critical Role as well, just because I had not watched live any of the other previous ones, and I found it hard. It was too much to get into, but it's a good thing to have in the background if you're working late on a Thursday.
For sure. No, I just mentioned because I know that there was a wall mimic that they encounter.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry.
I haven't seen the last 3 episodes. My wife fell asleep
I
before
guess
I could watch
spoiler
it.
for everyone watching this.
I think what Andrew's referring to is the what do you call it? You're referring to the actual game, not the animated series,
I'm
right?
referring to the actual game.
Yeah.
Okay, no, that's cool.
Yeah.
They encounter a wall mimic.
My wife watches the live show and condenses down the story for me. I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool.
Nice.
But anyway, yeah. No ice wall mimics, please.
Okay.
All right.
So you guys get settled in, and another. Oh wait.
Look at us all like bunched up, like easy prey to a fireball.
Most definitely.
But when you mentioned like the ice climbing people, he like gets his halberd back up and just holds it close.
Okay. Oh, Falco's got his back against where this thing is entombed.
No, I don't. I noticed that and I'm like, nope.
Oh man.
Yeah, because I think you do sit. I mean, you're exhausted, right? So you slump down against, you grab, the halberd, and then you sort of look behind you, and you can see looming up before you is this black-robed thing, this eerie mask. Shift yourself over. All right, another hour passes. And you regain 1 more point of dexterity. If anyone else is down dexterity from the Nothix as well, you can regain that. So you're at 2 now, Falcaro. Chance spell failure, I think, is still there. Once you get to 4, you're not going to have any risk of screwing up your somatic components.
At this rate, 15 hours to go.
Oosh. All right. So then, guys, with that last hour gone, nothing of interest has happened. Another hour passes. Three have
taking
passed since your fight now.
We're taking an official rest, right?
That was my intent. We're gonna, we're gonna try.
So
we'll see what Kevin gives us.
Well, the thing is that you just like in, there's not express rules for this in 2E, but I'd use the same rules from modern D&D that you can't take an 8-hour sleep until a second 24-hour period is started. You guys slept in the lair of the vampire gnolls. You cleared out that area. You've made your way through the caverns. You made your way past Father Limmick. You guys encountered the Mimic. It's like a dungeon by Dr. Seuss. You then went down and encountered the Grove. I don't think you actually slept in the Grove. You benefited from the healing. So
yeah, no, I wanted to, but the
at
group wanted to
most,
press
I think
on.
you're at this point, you're about 6 hours into your day.
Oh. Well.
Okay.
We blew through all of our spells in that time.
Yeah, well, I mean, again, the reason why Kola had wanted to rest in the Grove in the first place is because he was already mostly tapped out in his spells from the previous day.
Well, one thing I will point out as well, more good news, every hour that you guys are wanting to have light, that burns through another torch.
Yeah, I won't have the torch on now.
Okay.
While we're resting.
Okay.
No, I mean, if Falcarol's got his campsite spell, we could use that, but we generally tend to wait for that until we actually are resting.
It's spell failure, so.
Well,
I'll just be in the dark.
But this is the thing about the campfire spell is that it does require the actual supplies. Do you guys have firewood down here with you?
True. We probably don't have firewood with us.
We do not.
Okay.
I mean, it'll still create everything but the fire. It'll create a campsite, little area for us to rest.
But did you bring your tent and everything else down here as well?
No. It sets up a campsite, but if you're missing materials, it leaves that out. So.
Well, what I'm saying is that if you don't have any of your camping supplies, imagine a campsite. Now take away the fire. Now take away the tent. Take away the bedrolls. Take away the, what is it that's left in
the spell actually do? It just basically it
saves you time for setting up the campsite, and it automatically gets the fire started, so you don't have to make a roll.
So it just kind of Mary Poppins is it? You have to have the stuff available, and it just wibbly wobbly boo and puts it all together.
Well, what it does, the little helpful spirits, it says, makes the best approximation of a camp it can with the materials at hand. So it'll create a little berm if there's an ice bank or something. Or
actually, I guess it'd be closer to the Sorcerer's Apprentice.
Yeah.
So
I mean, there's no loose snow to make a nice little bed for us. So yeah, it basically clears the scree out of the area.
So that won't. Okay. So
and
that
this
won't
is where the benefit you were getting from tracking kind of hurts you because there's nothing loose here, right? So
okay. So I guess if we've still got a whole day really, but. Okay, well, I mean, we can spend some time maybe studying this thing locked in the ice for some time.
Okay.
Make some notes of it.
Without actually excavating the thing, it gets old pretty quick because it's just none of you. Grim is the one who speaks Netherese, and so then another hour passes. So you've got 3 points of dexterity back, Falcarol. 1 more hour, and you're gonna have no chance of spell failure.
Okay. Well, not much I can do anyway. I mean, cure spells.
Unless there's anything else, a 4th hour passes. So you have 4 dexterity back now. You guys have been up for 7 hours. So, anything that you guys wish to do with this next hour?
Needless to say, I'll be constantly sort of sniffing at the air.
For sure, yeah.
In the darkness, because that's my only sense that's, my hearing, but it's probably my strongest.
Okay.
I don't know. There's nothing to really occupy Cola's time other than maybe take some time to pray to Klingon and such, do his morning rituals and such, but not morning, but daily rituals.
Yeah.
But we gotta kill some time off before we can actually fully rest.
Okay.
Do we go exploring?
5 hours.
And as soon as I'm not super clumsy anymore, I should be ready to go. But I won't be in real fighting condition until much of the day has passed.
Okay.
Do you want to take the opportunity to heal yourself like you was gonna?
I've got 1 or 2 good healing spells. One's is Cure Serious, so probably a good idea. So
Just in case.
No one's suffering from any
or
mortal
something.
wounds right now, right?
I don't believe so.
No. Okay.
No.
So then I'll do a Cure Serious.
Okay. Nice. 16 back. All right. So then, guys.
Healing spells are gone. Still got potions, but
Anything you wish to do while you wait? You hear the same creaking and shifting of the ice. Trin, you've been sniffing the air, trying to sense any kind of change in it. Okay.
I don't, there's nothing to... Although I imagine Cola's starting to get a bit stir crazy. Sitting here for 4 hours doing nothing.
Okay. Another hour passes. It's now 6 hours since the fight. So your deck should be at a 6 Falk roll. Mm-hmm. And that is, let me roll here. Oops, shit. Jack dice. I have a big fucking tray in front of me, and somehow I managed to roll it out of the tray and onto the ground. All right. Trin, would you give us a D10 roll, please?
D10? Oh, 1.
1, okay. So I think what you guys can hear, Cola and Falcarol, would you give us D10 rolls, please? Okay. So Falcarol, would you give us a wisdom check, please? And Cola, you got a D10 coming for us?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Nope.
Okay. Great. You can give us a wisdom check as well.
Can do. Put the one in the wrong spot.
There you go. Okay. So, Cola, you are sitting down, and as you say, you may be getting a little stir crazy of having just been sitting here for 5 hours. You can hear the sound of, booted and like metal shod footprints.
Uh-oh.
From somewhere. Someone maybe loses their footing a little bit, and you know that you may remember that, like, getting up here to where there was that branching corridor, one going to that mirror room and one to where you guys are. There was a slope going up, and you think you can hear someone stagger, and you hear footprints or footfalls coming up in this direction here. Not directly here, but it's being carried by the echoes of the walls.
Oh. Okay. And my perception's not good enough to really be able to tell to what extent these are echoes and how far away. Like, so I'm no tracker.
Well, I mean, it doesn't sound like someone, like, imagine someone wearing metal armor and then stumbling and falling to their knees. That's the sound.
Right.
Yeah, and it's not like right next to you. It's carried, and because of the way these damned ice caverns carry sound, you're realizing that every time you guys have a fight, every time you guys cast a spell or whatnot too, it must be carrying the sound quite far. It's definitely coming down from this direction, though.
Yeah. I will try to I'll try to use a hand signal to get Falcarol's attention.
Yep.
I'll immediately do this, but tell him to come over here.
What is your move silent chance there, Falcarol?
Very low because I'm in armor.
Oh, yeah. What is it?
It's normally 55, so...
Is that in armor?
It's inactive when I'm in armor, so...
Oh, right, you can't use it in armor. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not very low, it's non-existent.
Zeros, low.
No, there's if you don't have access to the ability, that's the
true. Okay,
important
gotcha.
business.
So yeah, it's dexterity based. Move silently. I
Okay.
suppose.
Okay. Well, no, I mean that means just they have a chance to hear you. You don't get to make a roll to try and move silently in AD&D. All right. So if you're going to move over, you sort of wince, Cola, when you see Falkrol's moving in similarly heavy dwarven armor.
Well, it's interesting. I no longer have any penalties because my dexterity is high enough now, but
Okay.
I have no bonuses.
So he moves over. Well, again, you don't have that ability because you're wearing your armor.
Well, no. What I'm saying is that he's not super clumsy anymore because all of his negatives are gone. Like,
okay.
You know, your defense adjustment, whatnot.
Okay.
So,
all right. So you, Falkrol moves over to where you are.
I'll point to the entrance area, and I'll just tap my ears to indicate I've heard something.
Oh, I didn't hear anything, so I kind of lean a bit closer and listen. Maybe put my ear against the glacier.
Okay. That probably does not help a great deal, just because you'd be listening to whatever echoes and shifts, like all that shifting that you're hearing is coming transmitted through the ice. But what you do hear as you get a little closer, Falkrol, with your better roll, is there is something moving, and the sound is being carried in through this hallway, similar to what you heard before, Falkrol. Someone moving in armor.
Does it got the same kind of scabbard slapping motion as the others?
I don't think you hear. I don't think you're able to discern that much information about it this time.
Okay, I keep listening, but unless it sounds like it's getting closer, I don't really do anything.
So you can hear it does seem to be getting closer and it's not every time you're hearing it, it's only the odd time.
So
but then it seems to grow more quiet.
Stumbling, shuffling. If it is a Duergar, I think something bad happened to them. I lean in close and says to Cola, it doesn't move like we heard before. And he's whispering it.
Cola can hear all of this as well, because he rolled well enough.
Yeah, I'll nod in acknowledgement to Falkrol. I'll just whisper very quietly. No, I won't. I'll just stay silent.
Okay. Trin, you're certain you could smell something if it came in this cavern, and you cannot smell that brimstone stench again yet.
Oh, I might whisper to Falkrol quietly. Should we try to flank the entranceway, just in case?
Falkrol nods. Then he'll grab his halberd in two hands and start moving this way.
Okay. As soon as he starts moving again, you...
Clink, clink. Yeah.
Yeah. You can hear a word, once again, in that language.
Shit.
Then dead
I don't
silence.
recognize the language.
It's definitely Durgar.
Okay.
Yeah, the Durgar tongue once again.
Shit. Trin can't see shit. Is he close enough to me that he can at least make me out?
Yeah. Oh, I don't think he can make you out, but he can hear you definitely, and most certainly smell you.
Okay. If I whisper to Trin to tell him to come towards my voice and my smell.
Yep.
And then if Trin, if you do come to like stand next to me, I could whisper even quieter that like we're trying to flank. We're trying to flank the entranceway. If in case they come, at least we can narrow the try to funnel them.
Mm-hmm.
Reduce the number of them we have to deal with at once. I can help guide him towards I will risk one step because this would get me close enough that he can then get around me
Okay.
And I can guide him. I could probably help him guide him to where he needs to be because he can't see. Do I need to take some sort of dexterity check or something to be quiet?
Unfortunately, it's so the way, just as a reminder, the way it works in AD&D is, or at least the way I run it, if you have a move silently ability,
right,
and you're successful in that roll, it means there's no chance, unless they're a thief, there's no chance of them hearing. Otherwise, everybody has a chance of being quiet and moving around. It's not that you make a successful check then, it's the fact that the other ones have a chance of hearing you or seeing you based on the circumstances. Anybody can sneak and hide and whatever else. It's just that thieves are amazing at it.
Right. Okay. So I'll take the risk of moving once like the 5 feet over, because otherwise Trin won't be able to see where he needs to be.
Okay. Reminder: Trin also has 10-foot reach when he's using a weapon. He's got those big, rangy, limbs.
Well, then in that case, actually, he could. Oh no, we would need to block the entranceway. We can't.
I wanted to whisper to Cola as well. If they're invisible, can we, if we throw something on them, will we be able to see it, or will that disappear? Because you talk about them being invisible.
I have not
Cola, why don't you give us
invisible creatures enough to
give us an intelligence -8 roll. And there is a chance, sadly, the history of peace between these, like the surface dwarves and the Dvergar is not great. So you may you may have fought them before.
I don't know. I don't know of such a mundane. I mean, if you're in a desperate situation, I would certainly try anything, but I don't know that would work.
It's just it may help you to fight them if they appear, and without being able to see them, I feel I will be little help. So maybe I can assist in some way.
I don't. Short of something magical, I don't know any way to make an invisible thing visible.
Okay.
I think we just need to be quiet and be ready.
So, you wait one long, tense minute, then 5, then 15, beginning to feel uncomfortable standing in the same place you are. A half hour passes. And finally another hour. Falcro, you gain another point. And you hear nothing further.
No. Dwarves have endurance, but not that.
What do you guys wish to do? Falcor, you're a hunter. You certainly have, waiting an hour in a hunter's blind is nothing for Falcor and a devotee of Solinar. But
I'll turn to Trin.
That's not done in full plate, carrying a pole arm, right? So
I'll turn to Trin and whisper. Can you? What do you sense? Can you smell anything? Can you hear anything?
Nothing, and none of you guys have heard anything yet, or at least not since. God, how long has it been now?
Okay. I will take a step, and as one of the people with dark vision here, and I'll try to take a look, peek a look around the.
Yeah.
I can't talk. I cannot.
It's okay. It's the weekend. Who the fuck needs to speak on the weekend? Come on. Gesture and grunt and point. That's all we need.
That's role playing, man. That's not.
Exactly. So you get over and you look around the corner, and the frustrating thing too is that knowing, you've got that unfortunate burden of knowledge that these things could be right in front of you.
Yeah, of course. And
you're staring at the ground, wishing you had Falcoral's gift for tracking, because you can't even see your own tracks leading in here.
Yeah.
And you hear nothing further. The one thing I will say is that it like there's a bit where as you're moving, your metal helmet kind of goes up and grinds up against one of your shoulder pads, and it sounds super loud.
Ooh.
And you move a little further forward. As far as you can tell, first you can't see anything, and with how far you've put yourself out, you feel very exposed. Nothing seems to respond to you doing so. Falco, you can see Cola doing this.
Farkle's gonna step a little bit closer to him.
Yeah, I'll point at the prince and go, I can't tell if these are all ours or anyone else's.
Well, you can't see any is what I'm saying.
Oh, I can't see.
Yeah,
okay,
you can't even see
mind
any
then.
tracks. There's no indication that you've gone in here. Though you don't have the benefit of, Falcroll skills. Does Trin have tracking as a proficiency?
No.
Okay, so Falcor, what is your chance of tracking?
Tracking 14.
14, okay. So Falcor, you look down, and around here... Oh, let me turn the fucking snap to center off here. Right here, you can see that there are 2 boot prints. You have to get a little closer if you want to examine them in detail.
It glance over Cola and then at Trin and says, I'm going to move in. I see something.
Okay. Again, it's not like the pots and pans thing that, is played for comedy. You're not making that much noise, but it definitely is more, louder than when they say, Lex moves around in his leather.
And he's like looking around. Just anytime there's a glint of light off of something, his eyes are darting like a bird.
Yeah, there is no light at all right now.
Oh, that's right. The infravision.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anytime this infravision gets weird, he's like bird of prey looking at it.
Yeah. So you make your way over. You see yourself reflected in that mirrored room. But if you look down at the tracks, they seem very similar to, first off, they seem very similar to Cola's size. Wide, shorter, and stockier, and a rougher heel than, say, a human's boots. Dwarven boots are made to tromp around in stone and sharp bits of metal and shit like that. Never mind combat boots that they'd be wearing.
I imagine my boots are very similar, except sized for me as a human.
Yeah, definitely. And what you can see, as well as, it's not like 2 feet standing next to each other. You can almost visualize it in your mind. It's someone stopping and then taking a half step forward to listen more closely. You can almost picture that something 15 feet away from where you guys were standing was listening in here at one point and then left.
Okay, I'm gonna move back. He's gonna look around just a little bit more, and then he's gonna walk backwards a little bit, being very careful and slow. Just to get to Cole and says, I think we need to relocate our resting spot. Something was standing out there and listening, and then has moved on.
Fair enough.
They might have caught our tracks before and followed us up.
Can you tell, is there any indication of what it was?
It's dwarf boots very similar to your own. Heavy, stocky, dwarven. But aside from finer details. Yeah.
They probably saw, as you know, like I can mask our footprints as something else, but I cannot erase them altogether. So they probably saw the footprints from those creatures we fought, and were following them back to see where they go.
Looking at proficiencies, I stupidly overlooked one of my proficiencies.
Oh, what's that?
It's a personal thing to Trin, but he's got hiding as an actual proficiency. And I'm just wondering if that would actually aid us to pick a more suitable spot from memory of where we've been.
So what I'll let you use hiding for. Hiding will be kind of like the like a camouflage type feat, I think. We'll roll it that way to distinguish from your rogue ability or a thief ability. That way.
I mean, do you want a description? I've got it here if it helps. I'll just post it in there. It's only because it says it's independent of natural camouflage or.
Okay. Well, I mean, this would be beyond that. This is like building. This is the D&D equivalent of putting like camo netting over a tent in the desert or something like that. Yeah, I mean, you've picked a spot right now from where you're resting that like unless you're where you guys were, unless you're like right in here, you've got enough space to hide up against these two things here. And I guess what do you make of the fact that they stopped, they listened in here and then did not actually come in? And you didn't hear any back and forth about that either. Like you heard them cursing very briefly there, Cola, when they stumbled. And you remember, like, it was a treacherous, every one of these passages of the winding ice that's going up, you guys are having to do that like Frankenstein walk you do in the wintertime of very carefully making your way up so you don't. If you weren't being exceptionally cautious, or if you just took a bad step, you might take a tumble, and I think some of you guys have, in fact.
Well, important thing is, did we hear one voice or two?
Cola only heard one. You didn't hear it actually, Falcroll.
So my concern regarding this situation then is they didn't want to come in here, even though they heard something was in here.
If it was just one, though, it could have just been a scout.
I don't mean that's a definite, but if they stopped and heard something and they thought, there's something in here, wouldn't they have come in and had a look? Especially if you thought, well, no one can see me because I'm invisible. So does that mean that there is something about this room and this ice creature that they fear? Do they fear these beings, even though they're?
Because the only other alternative I can think of would be if it's not that they feel threatened by in the room, the only other thing I could think of is that they may have heard something somewhere else that drew their attention away.
But it weren't like they ran off anywhere or sort of shouted or talked to each other or.
Yeah. And like, as I said, I can mask our prints, but I can't make them disappear. And our prints would have, I can't see them very well, but our prints would have absolutely followed us into this room.
Falco, you can tell that there are no, if you were to try and track you guys in here, there's no evidence of you guys having walked in here.
So they probably found the bodies and then came to look at where the other tracks led that looked like they left the bodies.
This is also 6 hours after you guys first encountered the thing. So if they are only getting to this now, you only traveled about 5 or 10 minutes down that passageway when you ran into those Nothics. You then came back. You very briefly hid from them. They made their way down. You guys waited almost an hour and they did not come back, or at least you didn't hear them come back. Then you guys made your way over here. In the 5 hours since you left the frozen orchard, there was no sound, no indication whatsoever until you heard at least one of them outside. So that's the time frame that you guys are operating in. If you picture what they're doing, you don't know how long it takes to go all the way down that, but they would have to have deliberated pretty fucking long, which is not unusual for an adventuring party, I suppose, before they made a decision if what they were going to do is send out someone to then look 5 hours later.
Yeah.
So
if it was a scout or someone looking for something, you wouldn't get to the entrance of a doorway and then not look in it, would you? If you were looking for somebody, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
Unless you really didn't want to go somewhere.
True.
for whatever
Well,
reason.
as you saw with my interaction with those no-thick things, a single person against 3 or 4 of them goes down really quickly. So if I was him, I wouldn't want to come in here either if there's like 3 no-thicks in there. But I do think we should relocate our spot.
Well,
Good deal.
all I'm saying, we're either in the best place because they don't want to come in here, or the worst place because they don't want to come in here. That's what Trin's thinking.
Why do you
I
think
don't-
they did not come in here?
Well, that's what I'm saying. They're either scared to come in here.
No. Kevin, you didn't understand what Kevin just asked you. We are assuming they didn't come in here.
Falcro is certain that they didn't have any. No, what I'm asking is why.
Oh, okay.
You're not
Never
wrong
mind, I'm
about that.
wrong.
I mean, like, Falcro.
No, but-
Falcro is fairly confident that there aren't any tracks in here, though. And you guys are
fair.
fairly confident you didn't hear anything. One of the things is they may be invisible, but they're not silent. So
I was going to say, Trin would he's confident that he'd know if they'd come in here.
Oh, true.
100%
Just by the
Yeah.
smell.
The way I'm
Right.
treating your scent as well too, like I'm not making any like smell checks or stuff like that. You're for sure gonna smell them. You've got the careful snoot of a knoll. So if they were within the cave, Trin is confident they would have smelled them unless there was something to mask their scent. And why on earth would they know to do that? Unless the DM is full of bullshit.
Oh,
There's a chance. What I'm asking is why do you think, put yourself in their spot, what do you think the possible reason for stopping, stuttering forward a bit, and then not actually going in?
one of 2 things. They're either scared of not going in or they want us to come out and so they can attack us.
Boy, it would have been good to check for ambush or check for, any kind of markings or traps they've made to give noise.
Well, I haven't gone out of the tunnel very far, so
What do you guys want to do?
I'm gonna bend down, pick up a little bit of scree from the
Again,
ground.
There's really not, there isn't in here. No, unfortunately.
Just stone.
Well,
It's
let's-
ice. You can chip some off the wall. What are you trying to do here, Falcro?
well, I was thinking of getting something loose and throwing it into the mirror room to see if that causes any kind of stir of movement.
What do you have on you that could do that?
Got a dagger.
You have any coins?
Oh,
Yes, but they'll
that's gonna be
likely
the-
make noise getting those out. While
So would,
daggers.
so would scraping
Yeah, that's why I don't
sediment
wanna
off
do that.
the rock.
So I'll just pick up a dagger and kind of
Okay.
fling it down the tunnel towards the mirror room to see if that causes any reaction.
Okay.
So it's also loud.
So you toss the dagger down there. Yeah, and it
Yeah.
sounds. I mean, fortunately, it's ice, so it's not as loud as if it was thrown on like a stone floor or something like that. It skitters along into the ice room. To your ears, having tried to be silent for so long, it's very loud. And you wait. 1 minute. 5. 15.
Yeah.
You don't hear anything
Nothing.
else.
Well, it's probably not an ambush. And honestly, Falcro is getting stir crazy in this room. He's gonna start moving out.
Okay.
Trin should probably stay close if it's dark. So if he smells anything, he could warn us.
Are you traveling in darkness then?
At the moment, yeah. I'll just put a hand on his shoulder.
Sure.
Well, I've got this mining helmet that I've been carrying around for a very long time that he might like to use. It's got the little stones in it that you can pop in.
Is
and
it the
get
little?
light.
Oh, okay. I thought it was like, does it have a little tiny little wax candle on the top?
No, it's got those stones that glow for an hour each.
Yeah. You guys, these are the things you guys found underneath the Dwarven Valley.
Back when was it Podrick or
Oh my god, that goes back.
Yeah.
We still have those. They weren't lost with the. Oh no. That we got those. We got our backpacks back from the
Yeah.
giants, right?
I've got 7 stones in it, so we don't have to travel in darkness, and we can not waste any torches. But
Yeah.
they're hard to put out at a moment's notice. So.
Like it just the T-shirt makes itself with a knoll with a little miner's hat on it. So
Dwarf size miner hat.
Oh my god.
So, what do you guys wish to do then? Falco's dagger is in. Why don't we do this? We're past our mid-session break. Jeez, time is fucking flying today. Holy smokes.
Yep.
Why don't we take our mid-session break right now, guys? Refresh our beverages, and then we'll come back and you guys can tell us what you are doing next.
Okay.
Okay, so for those listening at home, we'll be back momentarily. 5 minutes.
What do you think? Do we want to involve ourselves with the Dwergars? Or do we want to head up the wormhole and see about finishing off the vampires? Thinking until we get spells might not be a good idea to take on actual spellcasters.
Oh no, I mean, yeah, we want to find somewhere to rest, but
Yeah.
at the moment that's not looking a very safe option. I still don't understand why they wouldn't have come in here.
Well, it was just one Dwergar. I'm pretty sure I know why they didn't come in there.
Yeah, but like I said, if you was invisible, wouldn't you feel fairly safe? I would.
Yeah, I suppose there's a certain level of confidence, but What do you think, Andrew?
I mean, I agree that staying here. I mean, but we've been in this room for like 6 hours now. And the room itself has given no indication that there's anything dangerous in here.
Do you want to free the thing and use our wish to have them wipe out the Dwargar?
What?
It's a joke. Pretty sure it'll kill us.
Yeah, yeah. I have no real speculation as to why the Dwargar didn't come in here, because I kind of agree that if you can make yourself bigger and make yourself invisible and you're generally just an evil shit, you're not really going to be intimidated by much. But I do think it's kind of speculative to suggest that the reason must be that there's something in this room that they fear. But I also can't think of any other better explanation. So I'm easily convinced that maybe this is not the best place for us to stick around.
Yeah.
But we also have no way of knowing where the hell they went. They could be sitting in the mirrored room just being quiet, or in the grove being quiet.
Yeah.
So my only confidence is I can smell them so far. That's the only thing I've got to go by.
Well, I think it's the one advantage we have, that we can't tell, other than if they're moving, we can hear them.
Potentially.
And if they're invisible, we're not going to see them coming, regardless if we have infravision on or light, so that Trin can see. I mean, they'll see us coming, but
right. Now, we know that they can get bigger. Do we know if they can get smaller?
You're aware. No, what their ability is to increase their size. Yeah, they can imagine.
Because I was only thinking that, like, the only way they could also be, like, so far the evidence suggests that they are not quiet when they're moving.
Yep.
And so the only way for them to be quieter would be to physically reduce their size so that they make less noise when they move.
They still would make They still would definitely make noise. It just would be adorable.
adorable and Dwargar do not belong in the same sentence.
No, they do not.
As a reminder as well, the way enlarge works in AD&D is you multiply the damage by the commensurate size.
Yeah.
If they are twice their size, they do double damage.
Right. Yeah. Right. I'm just trying to think about. We're trying to assess. Like, we have no, because I was making a point that we don't have any idea of where they went.
Well, you haven't looked. All you've looked thus far has been from where Falcor was. You can see 10 feet away.
Yeah.
So I think we should just strike either a torch or the mining lamp and head on out, because sitting here in the dark isn't going to get us anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, can I carry the mining lamp to the point where you can?
It's a hat.
But I mean, all right, then can I wear it and then put the stone in fairly quickly if I needed to, or is it a bit of a process?
It's a little piece of alchemical, almost like phosphorus.
And you strike it and it goes on.
Yeah, you strike it and it goes on, and then it's just that you can put it out, but it's just as challenging to do so.
Okay, but I can wear it without putting it on until I need it. Is what
absolutely,
I'm asking.
Yeah, because you don't wear, you don't wear any what do you call it, helmets or anything like that. So you're not replacing a helm, so you easily have that thing on top of you.
Yeah. Well, I still preference to not have the light on until we need it.
Well,
just because
I'm gonna go grab my dagger, and hopefully I don't get janked while I do it. So.
Okay, so where are you looking, Falcor? You cannot see anyone. You see your dagger is in the room somewhere.
I'm gonna move to the dagger and then grab it.
Okay.
Then I'm gonna kind of look at the floor to see if any signs of him moving into the mirror room.
Okay.
Or
you can see like your peripheral vision, you're seeing reflections of yourself all across
ignore
here.
Those.
Okay. You can see that there are markings in here. It seems like the tracks go up to here.
Okay. I'm gonna step back to the other two and say the tracks seem to go further past the mirror room. Maybe he looked at the mimic room.
It's not much further north until you reach that wall of
Tentacles.
nightmare. Yeah.
Yeah, it's right up there. If you guys want to follow, I think I'm gonna go check out the track to see if they go further in. Is that
To the east.
yes?
Okay.
I don't want to get too
Yeah.
far from you guys, but
Yeah. Well, like I say, I'm going to go hand on shoulder, so I'll be right behind her.
Okay.
Kola, you coming?
Yeah. Yeah. All right.
Okay. So you guys are.
I'm gonna move 10 feet at a time,
Okay.
just because that's as far as I can see.
Okay. Here we go. All right. So what you can see now, the tracks seem to end around here. And it's again, as you saw, like the people were idle. And as far as you can tell, there's no tracks. And I'll tell you, you rolled so well. There is, right around here, there are patches where, you guys have fought, and there's been, not what you got fought in here, but, oh yeah, it would have been around here. There's patches where there are a lot of loose ice, so it would be very, very easy to tell if anyone's have made their way past here, especially something as stocky and heavy as a fully armored Vergar. No markings down here, no markings up there. You'd stake your safety on the fact that they did not go in either direction, that whoever the scout was came here, stood for a little bit. You can see scuff marks from where they were sort of, and I say they because there's at least two, or stopped.
So he didn't come solo.
No, there's at least two tracks here.
So yeah, it's like they didn't move further on, but there were two of them, and they may have doubled back.
And again, you rolled quite well on this, so I'll tell you that like these markings are, it's easily within the last like 3 hours.
Okay. They didn't come here for a smoke break, did they?
That's what the brimstone smell is. Brimstone cigarettes, sponsoring this show.
Stay off the brimstone. Stay off the brimstone. It'll rot your soul.
So now they've come this far and gone back, we're thinking, does this mean that this is now a safe space potentially?
I would bet my safety on it. Yes. There's no danger here from the Duergar.
I mean, I'm happy to stay here because I can't see the mirrors, so I'm happy to stay in here now if it stays dark.
I don't like the mirrors at all. So do you guys want to move down to the room with the obelisk things from the ceiling and avoid the mimic room?
Sure.
Okay, let's go check in there and see if anything changed.
Okay.
I do not look to the north. I ignore it entirely.
Okay. Now you, Okay. So you make your way down here. It seems to be exactly as you left it.
Okay.
There are, let's see here, that is, oh yeah, it's a cursed, I mean, totally not cursed, nothing's wrong here, room. That's where the ruins of, or the Netherese ruins, that blackened stone is poking through the ceiling where it's frozen into this ice here. And then, yeah, you can recall right down here, you can almost hear it. That creature that disguised itself as a block of black stone.
Yeah, I think we're going to head down here. This seems like a much better place to hang out.
Okay.
But as far as Falco's concerned, he's combat ready. It's just he's not as fully effective as normal. So if we need to push on and go further.
Okay. What are you guys doing?
So we've relocated. It's time to reassess where we're going, guys. Do you want to try getting past the Father Limerick guy, or try to take the wormholes to roundabout safety? Or do we want to follow the Dwargar down that tunnel?
Well, how long before we could potentially rest up properly?
Yeah, it's been 10 hours. You guys have been awake right now. So I'd say another 8 hours before you can catch another rest.
We came down here to take care of these vampires, and we've mostly done that. But we're looking for the Netherese ruins, so we know how to get there. I'd say we should secure our way out and make sure the vampires are dead, and then that leads us to come back refreshed next time.
There's some sense in there. If we really just stick to why we came here, I agree. We've mostly accomplished that. We're not 100% sure, but and certainly now we've identified what we think is a way to get to the city. We know we can't go down there in our current state.
We need magic to fight magic.
Nor I would argue are we in a state to go looking for trouble, in other places of these caves either. So it might make sense to go back, check on the griffins.
There is the possibility of coming across that worm, but the Dryad said it hadn't been around for a while, so.
That is true. I would almost rather take, I don't like walking past that ancient thing in the ice, but so long as it stays in the ice, we could still walk by it.
Falkril says, I would prefer dying in a warm belly than being touched by that thing again.
Yeah, I mean, it tried to grab at your mind, even from within the ice.
True.
That thing scared Falkril.
You did have, just as a reminder too, your protection from evil did protect you from that altogether. Because it
right.
renders
So
immunity from mind control. But I mean, that's
right. Yeah, check your privilege, Cola.
I've got one of those spells left.
It's actually worth because that was useful on you. The reason I mention it is only because I can't remember if there's a protection from evil 10-foot radius spell.
There is, yes. It's just I think it's a little higher level. So,
and at any rate,
fourth level. But Cola is at least 7th level now.
we need to rest.
It is true. I am 7th level now, but I don't have regular protection from evil available to me right now because both of my instances have been cast, and I don't have the 10-foot radius option either at all.
Oh, is it because you only have minor access to it?
I believe
you have access to 4th level spells, right?
Yeah.
What level are you?
Yes, I have access to 4th level spells now.
Okay, so protection from evil is a 4th level spell, so then it's just a matter of whether.
And it's a protection sphere, right?
Protection sphere, yeah.
So yeah, it's a major sphere. So I definitely have it. What book is it in?
PHP.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, Andrew. I could have told you the page reference. Hold on here.
Oh, I can look it up.
I could cast it too if I prepped it.
219. Page 219.
219. I think it's a protection from evil 10-foot radius. Oh, okay. Yeah.
So, not saying that you have to do that, but just that if you did remember that was quite effective, and Falcrell's concerned about that,
Yeah. Right. Well, I mean, I would need to. I mean, I can't. I need to rest before I can
Yeah.
that spell
So-
anyway. So
And I was more worried about a cure series wounds kind of thing instead of a protection removal type of radius. So
yes, but this is yeah. I can keep that in mind.
So, what would you guys like to do here now that you found yourself in where the shattered remnants of the Netherese city lay
Well, mostly our
encased in ice?
goal was to come to kind of investigate, what was following us and what, and we've done that. We know, and it doesn't look like they came this far. It looks like they went back down south. So I don't know. Do we want to? But we know that the only way to go. So if we want to take the tunnel, the worm tunnel, we have to go back down south. We have to go to the Grove. Whereas we could leave right now and go north if we wanted to go past Father Limerick again. You really don't like that idea.
I could protect one of us because I have protected from evil, just the spell left. But yeah, Falcarol, like he said, he'd rather die in the belly, the warm belly, than go that way again.
I'm nervous about the fact that Hathawin said that, although Hathawin said that she hasn't seen the worm in a very long time, we know that her perception of time is very unreliable. So like a long time could be, I don't know how long Dryads live, but it could be 50 years. It could be a couple months. It could have been a day.
Well, the Fall of the Netherese City should tell you she's been around a while.
Yeah.
How
Yeah,
much notice would you expect from a giant worm moving through a tunnel? I mean, how much noise do you think it would make?
An enormous
lot.
amount of noise, and like given your experience in here of the shifting of the glaciers and whatnot, that sort of popping sort of sound. I mean, imagine how much noise 15-foot radius worm burrowing through ice would make.
That's what I'm saying. Potentially, you're going to get a good warning, isn't you, to get out of Dodge if you tried to go through that tunnel.
Hold on, guys. I hear a
of,
message coming through. It's we're fucked.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, we might be able to hear it coming. The only concern is if we're too far up that tunnel, it's more of a question of can we get back out of the tunnel before it catches up to us?
Yeah.
Well,
I don't know how far that tunnel was, really. It didn't seem too far between, but we haven't investigated. We don't even know if it goes the way we think it's going to go, etc.
Worst case scenario, you have enough time to utter a prayer to your God, saying, "I'm coming home."
Okay.
And
Well, I'd
and was
rather
it-
not meet my God anytime soon.
I was going to say the other thing with the tunnel, the worm tunnel, was it uphill? Was it flat?
Up, yeah. You guys do have a mountaineering gear though from the Goliath.
What I'm saying
so-
is, if you were going up and you wanted to come down quickly, you could come down a lot quicker than you
This
need.
is true.
Yeah.
Well, that's the other thought. The tunnel, like the
The
tunnel's,
exit routes at least quicker.
the
Is what I meant.
If you guys have a toboggan, we call that a Manitoba getaway.
The tunnel's going to be pretty smoothed out. So it's not going to be easy. We are going to need to use our mountaineering gear, and it's not going to be quick going until we find level ground. But there'd be no reason to assume it will get level out for any length of time, right?
Well, we got to remember that thing digs through ice with heat, so there's going to be places where the water pools and cools and freezes on a flat surface.
Maybe. Either way, that just means more slick ice.
Yeah, but
I'm just saying it's not going to be quick.
Yeah,
Right.
and what to what Darren was saying too, you're absolutely right, because it's going to be that polished ice. It's going to be, you just have to sit in your butt and zip on down.
Mm-hmm.
No, I just meant, if you hear stuff and it's going wrong, the exit route's quick.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
it's less dangerous than walking past thing that takes over your mind or
what's
attacks
the
your
saying?
mind. That
All
would be-
roads lead to Rome. In this case, all tunnels leads to its lair. So
I think for if we manage to get out that way, it would also give us another option if we were to return. We'd at least know if it was a potential route to get past the wall. And
I vote for the tunnels. That's
I
my
would vote for that as well.
But you, Cole, feel like climbing?
Sure. I think, I'm nervous about it, but I understand that your concerns about the ancient evil. We don't have any means to protect ourselves against the ancient evil.
Yeah. One way, death. The other way, eternal damnation because your soul's gone. That's how he feels about it.
Yeah, that's fair, and I'm assuming in second edition, there's no like divine intervention that you can rely upon in here. So like praying to my God's not going to keep you safe from whatever the hell that thing is.
Yeah, I mean, you have your astonishing fortune, I guess, but that is a very limited resource.
Yeah. So let's do it. We gotta go back down south and get up this tunnel.
All right, let's go say hi to Hathawin and make sure she's okay.
Get back, and the whole place is like. No,
Trina, are you lighting your lamp, or are you just doing the hand on shoulder thing again?
I'm going to continue with a hand on shoulder until we get to the tunnel.
Okay.
Just for the sniffer to work well.
Okay.
So,
I'm leaving your light on just because that way you're.
Yeah. I understand that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I said if they have burned down Hathawin's trees or harmed her in any way, I'm coming back here and lighting their civilization on fire.
I mean, sorry.
You guys may have discussed it before, but as you're making your way down, like, what do you make of this? Is the second time you've run into, or at least have Dvergar referenced in the valley. I can tell you that, like, Kola, having grown up here, there is not as far as you know, not a Dvergar presence. The people who founded the Dwarven Valley were refugees from Mithril Hall, who were all shield dwarves. They weren't Dvergar. As far as you know, there's no Dvergar civilization or presence in the Icewind Dale. You've now heard people attacked outside of, was it Caer Dineval? It was either Caer Dineval or Caer Konig where you guys were. Someone was attacked by Dvergar there.
Is that so? I forget.
Yeah, maybe you missed a session, but yeah, there was a...
Yeah,
well, I mean, it's also just... We haven't been down to 10 towns forever.
We're into the third year of this campaign. So the... there was an attack by Dvergar at the northern shore of one of the big lakes in the Icewind Dale. That's what led you guys to thinking about Dvergar. You checked on the storage of all that black ice, and all of that was taken by Dvergar as well too, and disappeared into it. So this is now a third time actually that you guys have seen the Dvergar pop up their head.
Right. And of course, the Cola's been uneasy about this because obviously we're using the meta now a little bit, but the character would remember this because for Cola it's been a lot less time. I think Cola's been very uneasy about this whole discovery, mostly because less about the Netherese like ruins. Obviously, we know the significance of that too, but for him personally, it's that rekindling of the memories of the black ice and what it has done to him, to his family, to his people, and a growing animosity towards these Dvergar and what they have done, almost as if whereas Auril is kind of ultimately the source for a lot of this evil, and most of his anger is directed towards her and her machinations. There's a growing sense of animosity and hatred brewing in him. Maybe hatred for him brewing against to externalize into, because the Dvergar are like a tangible target for his anger about what happened to his family, his seeking for revenge. Yep. Auril is much less tangible because she's trying it's way above his head in terms of what he could actually do to her.
And to give context for the campaign, and maybe this is helpful for Trin as well, what the guys have found is that there was this corruption of black ice that seems to be stemming or connected to Auril in some way that corrupted the Dwarven Valley, causing a kind of quasi-civil war there that our heroes were managed to put down. In the course of doing so, unfortunately, Kola found himself now in exile from the Dwarven Valley, though he had sort of been living in that state before. You also found that there was someone, a necromancer, claiming to be Akar Kessel, in the time of our adventure. This is 100 years after the events of the original Icewind Dale trilogy. So when there was a wizard 100 years ago who came from Luskan, used some kind of artifact to raise this massive crystal tower, and then bring an army of humanoids and giants and whatnot on, and then sweep into the Icewind Dale. And only through the efforts of all of the people of the Icewind Dale, the ragged tribesmen, the dwarves, the human inhabitants, or other inhabitants of the 10 towns, all got together, defeated that army, and the heroes defeated Akar Kessel, seemingly killing him. This thing is back now and claimed to be behind the undead threat that the guys all faced at the same time as the Black Ice corrupted Hammerstone clan. After defeating that, our heroes then went north, and they faced a manifestation of the Avatar, a corrupted, ragged tribeswoman who seemed to have been touched or chosen by Auril. They faced an avatar of hers in this place that's sacred to the ragged tribesmen, a place called Evermelt. And our heroes defeated her. All these hosts of undead and whatnot, and seemed to defeat her. They then tracked down information about where she may be hiding through accessing an ancient giant oracular site, nearly being killed by a frost giant that was also seeking information at that location at that specific holy time. And they found a lens, a magical artifact that would allow them to see this. It's a magical island created by giants 10,000 years ago called Grimskala. That seems to be the place where Auril's avatar is, or has chosen to sort of situate herself. Our heroes, flush with their victories, made their way out to Grimskala and found that facing the Ice Queen in her own lair was maybe not the best approach. They suffered some setbacks in the form of Tom dying and then being resurrected thanks to the band of Baranar, that one of the artifacts that Kola brings with him. They then decided to come back and try and strategize a different way of approaching the Ice Queen. They were reminded of difficulties. There's a group called the Arcane Brotherhood, a magical organization based out of Luskan, the same place that Akar Kessel came from, and the same organization that he used to be a member of. They're out here. They seem to have some involvement with the corruption of the dwarves. They also seem to have laid claim over the Dwarven Valley and have taken over at least some of the 10 towns and the councilship over them. One of them seemed to be, one of the members of the Church of Lathander, the Morning Lord, and a renegade wizard seemed to be involved in the creation of that strange quasi, mechanical, divine and arcane artifact, the Summer Star. And that's why I think what led you guys heading south here to, here it is, the object. This thing that fused some kind of divine and arcane power, but it seems to be very unstable. It's exploded a couple of times, costing Kola a suit of armor in the course of triggering it. It also appears out every time that thing has been triggered, it has been like a beacon to Auril, because she has manifested some of her most potent enemies, our most potent servants, the Cold Light Walkers, to attack our heroes. And that's the reason why they were traveling down, why they ended up in the Goliath cave, and why they're coming down here is to try and find information about how to stabilize this artifact, because it would be a potent weapon against Auril. That's when Trin came across, and there was a happy coincidence of them wanting to come back to the cave, and then Trin wanting to deal with the remnants of Tekeli Lee. So that brings Trin up to speed as to where sort of contextually what's happened over the past few months in the Icewind Dale, and why you guys are actually down here. So, you guys were planning on making your way to the back to the orchard.
Yeah.
That is correct.
You guys have done a lot in the Icewind Dale the last little while.
Yeah, we have.
Yeah, that's left out the pirates. That's left out the what do you call it? We didn't mention the werebear.
You know, I
Goat
miss
ball.
Oh, goat ball. Kola was not very good at goat ball.
It's not.
Yeah, I miss Austin.
Yeah, Austin was cool.
He's
I
back
really
in
miss
the
Austin.
Dwarven Valley with the Ragged Tribesmen now.
Yeah.
You know
He was a nomadic werebear that we
Polar bear,
encountered. A polar bear. Yeah, that actually followed, joined us for a period of time on our journeys, and he's very wise. Kola feels a special affinity with him because both Austin and Kola are both outcasts of their people for similar reasons, and so they bonded over the course of their journey. So Kola really misses Austin.
It's been a while.
Plus,
since
Kevin
you've
just
met him.
uses a great voice for him, so that's also great.
That's very kind. So,
One thing I don't miss is peritons. It's one of the benefits of being down here.
yeah, Peritons.
I dare
Holy
say,
smoke.
not fun.
Peritons and
lost
AD&D.
Kola to peritons.
Yeah, brutal.
Yeah, Kola nearly died the last time we encountered those things.
Yeah.
It's
This is why the Kola rule. Yeah, the healer never stays alone on watch.
Yeah. Couple of lessons learned through harsh experience. All right, so you guys have, and I think in fiction, Trim, this is sort of like as you guys had that time just to sit and do nothing. That's when they've been sort of telling you what's happening. You realize, like, man, there's a long road that brought these guys to intersect with your road, and this is the start of your road away from your tribe as well. I guess when, if Kola mentions Ostin and sort of talks wistfully about being the outcast, tried to do the right thing for the tribe and that cost him that. I mean, that probably hits pretty fucking close to what Trin's experience has been, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, he can't see himself going back now.
Yeah.
He's always been a bit of a loner, but he's still part of the tribe.
Yeah. The crap Kola's been through is one of the reasons Falkrol is so attached to the dwarf. Sheesh.
Yeah.
That poor guy.
Yeah.
So we get to the trees, and
It's a wonder Kola is as which is mostly I should have maybe played it up more. Kola should probably be far more unhinged than he is.
well, yeah. I just remember a few times you getting ripped out of my grasp by all those dwarves in the beginning. It's couldn't save you.
Oh yeah,
Kola's
right.
been-
Well, that's when
Kola's
you
been
ended up in
captured
prison too.
2 or 3 times.
Yeah. Falcor was in prison. That's why he made friends with a.
Oh yeah.
For the priest, it was priest of Doomethorn, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. It was a K name, wasn't it? Kadric or something?
Something like that.
Adric.
Adric. That's right. It is a K in there somewhere.
Yeah.
It's
So
creepy.
Look at
guy.
us reminiscing. Sorry.
yeah, yeah.
So we get to the trees. I'm like, Catherine.
She kind of appears, once again, the tree sounds like creaking in the wind, opens up, and she steps out once again. You were not found. I heard them come by.
Yes, we heard them outside the cave we were in. They did not enter. Have they gone back?
I heard them come, yes.
Okay, did they go south towards the deep or back towards their lairs?
Back towards their lairs.
Okay. Well, we're going to brave the tunnels of the ice worm to see if we can get higher up in the glacier and back out to the sky.
And then you will return? She
Yes,
sounds almost...
As we said, we came here to kill the vampires that were plaguing Trin's village, and we need to make sure that they're dead before we delve further.
Of course. Then, I wish you luck and look forward to seeing you again, Falcaro.
Well, indeed, we will be back.
She, whoops, hits her mic, and then she fades back into the tree.
Well, before she fades in, it's like, is there anything she would like from the surface on her next trip down?
If you can bring sunlight.
I can possibly bring an approximation. I'll have to talk to one of the mages.
And water from a fresh running stream.
That I can do.
Thank you. She takes your hand. In the span of you guys walking around and talking your plans and whatnot, I think you can trust another hour has passed.
Nice.
So you got another point of your dexterity back. Now, how do you guys plan on making your way up this thing?
Well,
the angle's quite steep, but
put on my
you got your crampons and your pitons.
shoes, pitons.
I think we should take our. Maybe we may want to tie ourselves to like daisy chain ourselves together.
Well, Falcroll is going to see if he can like take off some of his armor to lighten himself up a bit, as far as being able to freely move. Because with his range abilities comes the ability to climb fairly well. If he doesn't have armor on.
Mm-hmm. Cola's kind of screwed in that regard.
Well, that's why we anchor it and we pull you up.
Well, that's a question actually. We may want to discuss order because it looks fairly like the opening seems fairly wide here, but we can't assume it'll be like that. Should Cola be bringing up the rear, and is that a liability, or should I bring up the top?
Trin's very confident that he'll be able to go up here. He's a good climber, he says. Yeah.
I figure if I take point and Trin takes the back, he could. If something goes wrong, he might be able to save one of us from dropping.
Okay.
But we should definitely use a rope between us.
I'm absolutely. I think I'm pretty sure I'm the highest liability in the group here, so maybe putting me in the middle makes sense because then there's two people opportunity to either you reach back or Trin to raise me.
Yeah, and if we daisy chain ourselves with a rope, that should be pretty good too.
What's the longest length of rope you guys have? I thought you tied two 50-foot ropes together, didn't you?
We did. Let me look.
I haven't got a rope at the moment. I left it in one of the.
Yes, that was when we tried to cross the room with the opening. We didn't want to fall in, so yeah, we've got that 100-foot rope.
Okay. Who's carrying that rope right now? Just because I know ropes weigh
I've got it.
quite a bit. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So then you'll have sufficient rope, it looks like, to make your way up to the top.
Oh, I thought we were just going to use the rope to tie it to ourselves, but I guess it makes sense. We would probably
Well, the option
tie it
is
to pitons and put it in as we go to kind of create an anchor, like an arm banister kind of thing as we go. Is that what we're thinking?
Trin, what is your chance of climb walls? Your thief skill?
70%.
So again, like the thief climb walls ability, this is the ability to go up like sheer surfaces and whatnot.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah,
It's going to be a
40,
piece of piss for him to clamber up the wall.
I'm
just saying.
I
Yeah,
got a 49 when I'm unarmored to climb walls.
So unless you're unarmored, it's probably not, or planning on taking your armor off, it's probably not helpful to show them.
I'm planning to take my armor off.
Oh, are you? Okay.
Yes.
So then, but Trin can already do it.
Yeah, I'm saying I could go up with a rope and secure it in some way, anchor myself.
Oh no! If we want to do that, that's cool.
You can use the rope to climb up, or at least help you climb up.
That actually makes a lot of sense because that would kind of potentially it might reduce the the degree to which Cola's a liability. If I've got something to actually hold on to between that and the pitons and my crampons.
And if you really wanted to take armor off, we could tie it to the end of the rope and pull it up afterwards.
And
if you wanted to do that, but I don't know if you'd need to if you had the rope. But.
With climbing, so as a reminder, climbing is in PHB. It's been a while since we've got to do climbing.
Yeah,
page 122. When you go to rope and wall, it gives plus 55% to your chance.
And heavy armor takes a good chunk of that away.
And because I've also got
plate armor is minus 50%.
I have proficiencies in both use rope and climbing.
So what that's mountain. What it counts as is giving.
Oh, it counts as that. Never mind.
Yeah,
okay.
it gives you a bonus of I think it's like 10%. So the standard I think is 40. Is that right?
I've also got rope use if that helps us tying off anything and stuff at the top.
And that's the thing. If you got a rope going up there, climbing rates.
What page are you on again?
I'm on page 122.
Oh, okay.
So Mountaineer proficiency is 40% plus 10% for extra proficiency slot. So you be at 50 to start. Then you lose 10 because you're a dwarf. Down to 40. You're wearing plate armor. That puts you down to 1%. But you got a rope, which brings it up to 55. And
there's some surface conditions there as well.
Yep, there's surface conditions, but I think it's also not, you're not going up a sheer wall. So I'd also give 40, like the abundant handholds benefit is going to be like footholds. So another 40. So effectively, it's going to be about like a 90. 90% to get up the wall with the rope. If you don't have the rope, it goes down to a 40%.
Oh. Okay, let's definitely...
Yeah, so it makes a huge difference in... and like for Trin, it's like, unless you roll a 100 on your chance, like you can make out your way up this wall even without pythons.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't got any armor, so yeah. Well, I'm more than happy to go up there with the rope.
You sound like you're really suited for it. So in that case, if Cola can make it up there fairly good with armor on, I'll keep mine on and make sure that somebody guards the rear.
So I will put the miner's hat on.
And you turn the light on?
Yeah, as I enter the tunnel. Yeah.
All right. So you can picture you're looking up at this thing, and it's swooping up. The tunnel extends as far as the light goes. So it's really gonna be a matter of like, you tie the rope around. Are you carrying the rope with you and gonna cast it down, or are you like spooling it out as you go?
It'd be easier just to tie it around my waist and just let it hang behind me.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So Trin, you start making your way up this tunnel.
And obviously position the rope around my back so it's not getting in the way and sort of tangling up and stuff.
So this is honestly like having, as a gnoll, like a tundra gnoll who grew up in the Icewind Dale, this is just like, it's like, being a kid again. It's a little more tricky just because of the ice part of it, but like you're... And you guys can see him moving up here like, it's a cat moving up a carpeted surface, easily up. And then he will disappear. So, Trin, let me show you what you see here. So you come up, and there is an egg-shaped, like almost like a cyst. And this one is a lot more even in the walls. All the walls you've seen in most of the caverns down here, they're all jagged, ice that's broken away and just happened to have formed a chamber. This is melted. So it has a like a almost smooth, like polished walls on the inside. And you can see that to the north there is a huge amount of mist and that's forming. That gets thicker the closer you get towards the darkness. And in here, would you give us a D12 roll, please?
D12.
The height here raises to 40 feet.
Okay. That's an 11.
An 11, okay. All right, so you get in here, and there's no reflection on the walls. It just feels like this will carry sound quite well because of the big kind of egg shape, and it's ever so slowly. Those lines on the map there, they indicate that it sort of very gently slopes down towards that hole that you're looking across, the 15-foot across gap. you drop the rope down, or you have the rope down.
Is there any sort of stalactites or anything that I can tie this rope round as well as holding it?
Not that you can see in here, no.
So there's nowhere to tie it off?
No.
Specifically? Okay.
Gonna have to brace yourself.
Yeah. So, how much extra rope did I have, do you think?
You have probably, let's see, what's the distance here? At least like 35, maybe more feet of rope.
So I'm thinking, can I sort of anchor myself in that doorway, like legs either side, and sort of brace myself like there?
So you get over there now. Hold on. Okay. So you get in there, and there's a weird... It's hot in that room. Like, there's more mist that's filling up from behind you, and you can hear the sound of gurgling, bubbling water. You can see from where the light is hitting, there's a big pool right here of gurgling, like a hot spring in the middle of a glacier.
But no other noises or smells that...
there is a smell. There's like a briny smell, like something cooking in water almost.
Okay. Well, I'll give it a few minutes just to make sure nothing reacts to me sort of shining my light in there. And...
Not that you can see, no.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna, as I said, brace myself in that position and sort of pull on the rope and wiggle the rope to signal for them.
Okay.
Okay, Cola.
All right.
Cola,
Up I go.
give us a percentile roll, please.
Percentile.
95% chance. Okay. Takes a little bit of doing, but then you pull yourself up. Now, hold on. I want to check and see one thing here, guys. Oh, I think those are... So what you can see to the north there, Cola, these things here, those are icicles hanging from the ceiling, or like stalactites hanging from the ceiling that are just dripping water down. And there's steam that fills the surface of the floor, or the surface of the ground in there. Oh, and then you see bones.
Oh. That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. We're gonna go over there.
Okay.
Don't need to see that anymore. Well, I guess I'm kind of tied to the rope. I don't have that much mobility. So
then Falcarol.
Alrighty. Give one last look at the dryad of the trees and start pulling myself up.
Okay. Nice. Falcarol, you see the exact same things I've described to the guys.
The north is where the
There's heavy mist over here. There's water dripping down from the icicles above. And then there is what Trin can see. This whole room is filled with mist as well, and roiling hot springs.
well, after we coil the rope up and I stow it back in my backpack, move over, not make any loud noises. I think the worm's here, guys.
What are you doing next, guys?
I'm gonna peek around this corner up here.
Okay. You can see those bones, and there is another of these roiling pools right here.
Is that an opening in the wall?
There is an opening in the wall there. And then this room that you're looking into, the bulbous cavern has walls as smooth as glass and a ceiling lined with dripping icicles. A wisp of steam rises from a roughly circular pool in the northern half, and south of the pool is a small crater filled with oversized snowballs.
Yeah. But what concerns me is this gap here is 15 feet across. That hole was 15 feet across. So this is the path of the worm. Maybe not that way.
And so this path to the west is only 5 foot.
Wait, so you don't want to go this way?
Well, no.
Well, it means the worm probably didn't go that way unless it come out or through the ceiling or through. It didn't go through that tunnel, is what I'm saying. So maybe that's a potentially safer route.
Well, yeah, I'm definitely not going in here.
We may have to. There's another.
Don't give us many options.
So, let's explore the side tunnel
Frying
first.
pan fire.
Go with a frying pan.
I'm gonna go over here.
I'm staying right here until you tell me which way to go.
I've peeked around that corner. I'm gonna peek around here and see what I see.
Okay.
Okay.
Just very carefully. Just. Oh, there's more water pools in here.
Yep. And there is a thin layer of steam or mist in here as well. This one is roiling. Shit, Falcarol. You, as you're looking in there, you think you very briefly see something twitches in that pool, briefly above the surface of the roiling water, and back below, a carapace surface, like a giant bug.
Yeah, I slowly slink my way back. I'm like, not that way, not that way.
So
Let's make for that direction.
Okay.
At this stage, can Trin try and use his direction sense to work out which way they should be going to get back to that wormhole?
So that's an interesting question.
The other wormhole.
You could try that. Direction sense doesn't really help you orient yourself necessarily, but I'll let you try with that. But doesn't someone have? Do one of you guys have something that tells you the nearest way up? Doesn't the Latiger's axe do that? Or am I confusing that with something else?
I think Cola has one of those. I've got something similar Night Below, but that's one Dorman. So.
Hold on.
I thought that Axe of Latiger, doesn't it have an ability that...
I don't have anything written down for the Axe of Latiger. I just have it's a magical axe with +1.
Let's take a look. You guys are pretty good about the loot.
In the other game.
Let's see here. Party loot. There we go.
Yeah, I don't have anything mentioned here. Yeah, it's probably in the party loot. Maybe in Lex's.
Well, everything's crossed. So what Dave was doing is crossing out stuff as it was taken. So you've still got everything listed in there with the full rules in most cases. Let's see here.
I don't see it.
The Ring of the Ram. Staff of Command. No, I could be wrong. So yeah, this is why it's doubly important when you, if your item does have a special ability that we've generated. Really important you write it down so we don't forget it. Then I could be remembering it wrong, Andrew. I'm not saying that you.
I guess my point is I have never. I don't recall having ever been aware of any special abilities of the axe beyond it just being plus
a whole marked for Latiger. Again, I could be confusing it with another item. So, all right. So Trin, what is? Why don't you give us a direction sense at -4?
Oh, I
nice.
Didn't give me the option to do a minus.
Oh, that's okay. We'll just treat
treat
your scores thing. So if you're trying to situate where that other hole you found is, it'll be up in that direction. So you guys remember you found that hole. You've not traveled, like you've traveled surprisingly far down and down, and then also further south. The hole that you saw in that one room near where that sort of like magical guide was that wasn't working for Grim anymore, that's up in that direction. Which means it's past this other roiling pool.
Well, no guts, no glory.
Oh boy. Okay. I'm sticking to the wall over here though. I wanna
Snowball's here. I think we should go along the wall.
How big are these again? Am I smaller than these things?
But some of them yes, some of them no.
I think Cola is better to stick near the walls. Also because I'm the slowest, like my short legs. So
Okay.
I was thinking you should be at the back in case we need to run. You can get to the exit quicker.
Okay.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
And what are these bones? Can we identify a rough idea of?
No.
Steady, lad.
You had to go there, didn't you?
They have a favored snack, it seems.
Okay.
Okay.
Creep around the wall.
All right.
Touching nothing.
Oh, give me 1 second. I need to check one thing.
Oops. So many whirling pools of water.
Okay.
No, it's about this time in the session. Why get worried about cliffhangers?
I don't know what you're talking
3
about.
points of astonishing fortune.
Okay. So, Falcarel, you get to there, and let me do a quick measurement here.
I did. This could come right out of that bloody water.
Yeah, just as a player, I'm like, please don't have that. Please don't have that.
But then that's exactly. Don't tell him what you don't want.
Why not? It makes the drama so much better.
All right.
I'm also a DM. I understand these things.
Definitely don't want a portal to the outside. Definitely not. That'd be terrible.
No, totally not. All right. Okay, and there we are. Alrighty. So what you see, Falcarel, out of the corner of your eye, slowly undulate its way out of the water. A 10-foot long, frilled frostworm.
Okay, that was smaller than I was expected. It's actually cute, but
It's still 10 feet long. It's plenty
still
big.
terrifying.
It's still plenty big.
And that's when
Yeah.
its brother.
Yeah. Thanks, John.
Now I'm scared.
Thanks
Now
for
I'm
that.
scared. Now I'm scared.
And listeners can confirm that both of those were present. It was not me just being like, well, yeah, here's another.
I wouldn't blame you if you did.
Guys, this thing looks up. Its little antennae on the head twitching. Let me make a quick roll here. Its mandibles kind of, and you can see the ice is melting underneath the heat of this thing. What do you guys do?
Is it looking at us?
The antennae seem to be focused directly towards you. One of them is
I
slowly.
would say we run.
Yeah, my first instinct is to bolt.
Okay. So let's do this. Guys. Oh, where is it here? Everyone decide what you're doing with your round. Mm-hmm. And then you can tell me what that is in 1 week's or 2 weeks' time. So, guys, we will end there. I'm sorry to end. We'll end a little bit early here.
That's fine.
But you guys have 3 points of astonishing fortune left for the session. You guys have done a little bit of exploring as well, too. So we'll say that everyone is walking away with 250 XP for today. That's 250. And for those listening at home, thank you so much for joining us for session 83 of our Legacy of the Crystal Shard campaign. As is always the case, if you have any comments, questions, or concerns regarding the session, the campaign, or the game we're playing, please do not hesitate to leave a comment in the comment section of the video, and we will endeavor to reply in a timely fashion. You can also find a link down below to the Dungeon Musings Discord server, where all of us are active. We have channels there dedicated to this campaign, this game, and every other campaign we run on the channel, as well as a bunch of other great things like I've got to keep track of... hold on here. I'm just going to put this in so I don't forget. Up for 11 hours, 8 hours post drain. There we go. In addition, you can find a bunch of great people and great things on the Dungeon Musings Discord server. You are more than welcome to join us over there. Last thing I will say is an enormous thank you to our brave heroes in the Icewind Dale. No one dinged after that 250, right? Trin, I know you've been pushing the limits of your levels on most of these things. You finally ran out of...
Yeah, I've run out of momentum now.
Now's when the slog begins. Although if you guys are facing these things, it could be a lot of XP.
I might level up if I do and survive. On Ranger anyway.
Yeah, nice. Then we'll be back in the Icewind Dale in 2 weeks' time. And until then, we hope that we gave you a few hours to take your mind off the troubles of our world and think about the troubles that our heroes in the Icewind Dale have come across. And until we see you again, stay safe, stay healthy, and happy gaming.
Bye.